happening, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. We are going to be working on the M2 today. APR made me a custom splitter. We basically traced out cardboard of this lip, made a mock-up, sent it to APR. They ended up making a full carbon fiber splitter for me that goes around the circumference of this lip, and then it has mounting holes on the bottom and you can slide it in and out so you can adjust the aggression and all of that. So when I did my headlights and everything, we obviously had to take off the front bumper. When I put the front bumper back on, I noticed that the front end was kind of sitting, you can see how this is stretched right here, and this doesn't kind of work well with this insert. It's because the entire bumper is kind of flexing like that. So the front end is pushed up just like a half an inch, maybe even less. It's either one of two theories that I have. The bumper just isn't seated properly, and I think something might be behind it. It also might be the way that I have the current lip bolted on. I have bolts coming in from the bottom going up, and I think that those might be getting in the way of some of the plastic pieces that connect on the bottom. So it could be a few things. What I'm gonna do first is we're gonna jack up the car, and then I'm going to see what the lip looks like on the inside and see if it's hitting anything. It's very, very tough to tell. Obviously I notice it because it's my car and I look at it every day. So it's enough to bother me. And I just want to make sure that it's seated properly so when I put on my splitter, everything meets up just right. I also really want to go and get, we were working on Eldridge's car yesterday, and I literally only have one crescent wrench, but I definitely need more. I need more wrenches, and I really want to get the ratchet ones. It's the wrenches that have the little ratchet in them. I've been wanting to get those for a while, so I'm actually going to head over to Home Depot quick and grab a set of those. Nice little garage edition. So I'm gonna grab some coffee, grab some wrenches, and then we'll get back to the house and do some wrenching on the M2. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Today's Sunday. I've cleared the schedule. We're gonna handle this bumper issue and hopefully get the APR splitter on. What really is gonna determine the splitter is how flat the underside of my lip is. And I'm a little bit concerned because I don't think the underside of this lip is completely flat. And if the underside of the lip isn't completely flat, the splitter will then be pointing in all sorts of weird directions because you need to make sure that that surface is completely flat or it's just gonna mess up the way that the splitter sits. I already feel like a new man. All right, let's go get these wrenches, dude. I've never had the ratcheting crescent wrenches. I think that's what they're called. Ratchet crescent wrenches. I think that's what they're called. I've never owned a set. As you get older, the things that get you hyped are like tools, like cool tools. First they'd say I never made it. Now they always say, congratulations. Facts, bro. That oil heating up a little bit. Dang, this car sounds crazy, bro. I can never get used to how this car sounds. It's just nuts. About to park this thing in the back of the absolute corner of the lot. But I'm gonna hop out, go get these tools, and I'll be back. Yo, these are dope. So Husky's okay brand. Question is how long will these last? We don't really know. But they're pretty cool. They got these little locking things in here. So you can actually use them as a crescent wrench, but as a ratchet. And then it's got the ratchet on this side too. So got some of these. They didn't have all of them. I just got the ones that I use the most. 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, and 15 are probably the most common ones anyways. So got them in black. Pretty sick. Can't wait to use these. Things looking like a freaking snack check, bro. Things looking insane. All right, let's head home and fix this bumper. Oh my God, what am I doing? Not even in Sport Plus. Guys, you need to warn me next time I'm driving in comfort mode. It's a freaking travesty, bro. Should never be happening. Bam, got him in, dude. Perfect. All right, let's get down to business. We have to jack the car up, take off the wheels. All right, car's up. So if you look right here, that is where the bumper should be lining up there. And so it's just like, it's not even a half inch, it's like a quarter of an inch ahead. Now if you see here, I have bolts running in here. So these bolts are super long and they're basically hitting the inside, which was my fault. I shouldn't have used bolts on here. I should have just used like a couple of bolts on the sides where I could get away with it, but on here it's not gonna work because it prevents the bumper from going in any further. So the good news is, looking at the bottom of my lip, it is relatively flat. So you can see here, this is where the splitter actually attaches, that bottom splitter piece that we have from APR, which is right over there. And so we're gonna end up mocking it up to this. Basically you just put anything that's like, we'll use like a little bit of anti-seize lubricant, put a little bit of that on each hole area and line it up exactly how we want. And then once we have the holes precisely how we want them, we're gonna drill out the holes on there, because the anti-seize lubricant that we put in these holes will end up leaving marks on our splitter. So that's how we know where to drill. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill out those holes a little bit larger so we can move the lip in and out and have more adjustability. We don't want just like one single hole that goes right there. We want the hole to be a little bit larger so we can move the splitter around and just have the ease of adjusting it. But the issue I'm having right now is that you can see right here, the reason that this isn't fitting is because it's so stressed from the bumper kind of moving like that. This basically all needs to go like that. So that's why these aren't fitting. I need to pop these back out and clean them out. The contact points behind these are super dirty. So the adhesive isn't sticking anymore. There's actually like glue in here that I need to clean up. I just need to make this better. It could be a lot more clean. So right now that gap's killing me, dude. It's so minimal, but like, dude, it drives me absolutely insane. The bumper being a little bit flexed like this, it has more of an angle shooting up, and I don't want my splitter coming out and up. So that's the whole idea of making this, everything just fit better. It'll push it in a little more, so this is more even, and then the splitter will come out nice and even rather than having it like shoot up in the sky, which is just stupid and completely defeats the purpose of having a splitter. Oh, dude, I figured it out, and I'm so excited because I'm so relieved because I don't have to remove the whole front bumper. So as soon as I took out the screw in here and the screw in here, and then one of the ones on the side, the whole thing just like seated in perfectly. It like literally just dropped into place. So I was like, oh, okay, so that's what it was. What we can do now is I'm gonna put the bottom piece back on, this plastic piece back on, and I can go ahead and start mocking up the splitter. All right, so what I'm working on right now, these are the side reflectors. When I originally put these on, I just never cleaned the inside of the contact on the fender well. And they're just, dude, they're trashed. Like, they don't even adhere anymore. So I cleaned up the adhesive as best as I can. And then I also cleaned the inside of this guy. So this is all clean behind here now. Took all that inside stuff out so I could access it and really cleaned up the contacts. I actually took a pick tool and was like carving out any old debris and then used a bunch of isopropyl. So both contacts are super clean now. I'm gonna heat this up and we'll see if it actually adheres again, because this adhesive is old and it doesn't adhere anymore. It might be dead. So if that adhesive is dead, we're gonna go ahead and use some of this Loctite all-purpose bonder, basically just like a really strong gel. The good thing is once it adheres, it's good. It's a good bond, but you can also take it off later if you have to. If you just use like a pick tool and it hardens and it comes right off. And then I'll just take some painter's tape and clamp it on and let it seat for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, and it should be good. Heating it up did help a little bit, but ultimately went with the glue, laid it around the entire thing, and then I got some painter's tape right now just holding it in place. Let it sit for about 15-20 minutes while I work on other stuff, and then these will be good. I'm gonna go ahead and tackle the other side now. You guys can see the gap is no longer there, right through here. You can see the gap on this side. So that's what we're fixing. All that. I go ahead and do this one next. Here's the other one. See, I mean, that's the stuff that's like in there that's basically just not, I mean, look at that, dude. So I'm basically taking a pick tool and just scraping all this crap off and then cleaning it with isopropyl, using a little bit of heat, some glue. Bam, second one on, looks good. We'll Let that sit for about 15-20 minutes. This side is probably already good. This stuff drives super fast. But yeah, that gap was just driving me insane. So everything finally bolts up perfectly. Looks like it's in a much better position. Seems more flat. So that is good. Let's go ahead and open this up. Let's see what APR sent us. This is legit a work of art. Oh my God. This is freaking cool, man. It's so cool that like I drew this and now it's this beautiful piece of carbon fiber. Look at that, dude. Wow, this is sick. It's got like carbon vinyl, like a rubber piece that goes around the front to protect it. And then obviously it's just like this beautiful carbon fiber weave. Dude, this is incredible. Super sick badge. That's a decal, so that's definitely coming off. I am not a decal person, so that's gonna unfortunately come off. But dude, take a look at how gorgeous this is. This is so sick, man. The fact that I drew this out on a piece of cardboard and now it's in front of me in carbon fiber and it's gonna like fit under, dude, I'm just blown away. It's so cool. So cool. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna line it up underneath the bumper, or underneath the lip rather, and just make sure that everything is even, because I wanna make sure that that lip is even underneath. I don't want this thing to sit out all wonky and weird. So I have a bucket under here right now, and I'm just kind of lining everything up. But you can see how it sits right now. So right now it's a little bit far out. I'm not gonna be running it that aggressive. I'll push it I'll probably have it hang out like just that much. Like it's really just gonna be super subtle. But this shows the capabilities of it. I mean, you could run it, you know, like super crazy GTS style track mode. I mean, if you were to run it like that, you'd definitely want some arms going into like a radiator support, but I'm definitely not running it like that. My mentality with this whole thing is like super subtle, like that. It's gonna be very clean. It's almost gonna look like it's part of the lip. That's kind of my purpose for doing this splitter. I just wanna keep it very, very simple. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of anti-seize on the actual holes, and then I'm going to lift this up to the holes, and it's gonna leave a mark on the top, and that's where I'm gonna be drilling. And we'll probably drill some of that stuff out because we want a little bit of room to move it around. Not all the drill holes will be perfect, so we do want to be able to move it around a little bit. And then also in the future, we'll cut the drill holes down a line like that so we can move it in and out. But for right now, we're just gonna go with the initial holes, get it to where we want it, and we'll be good. It's so close to perfect. It's like really, really close. It needs to come over just a hair that way. So what I'm gonna do is basically just drill out the hole a little bit larger so I have room to move it around to wherever I want. And then once we have these two holes that have a little more flexibility, all the other ones can be direct drill-ins. And it'll be perfect then, it'll be locked into place. This gap's a little bit bigger over here than the other side, but the front is like money, dude. Fucking spot on. Most people wouldn't even notice this gap, but it's just a hair shorter on this side and just a hair longer on this side. So the whole thing needs to come over that way, and then it's gonna be perfect. But you guys can get an idea of how this thing's gonna look. Oh, dude. Once this thing's on the ground and you guys see it in its final form, I'm telling you, this is gonna look so good. Now, it's perfect. Literally just like 1/8 of an inch over, but it's freaking money now, dude. This thing's spot on. God, this looks so good. All right, so now I'm gonna drill out the other holes, put those in, and we should be good. I gotta run to the hardware store and grab a couple more bolts, but at least you guys will be able to see it on the car and finished. Perfect. Thing looks so good, and it's fully adjustable. So basically 12 of these with 12 washers. And then on the back side of it, I have a couple of screws going in there too, some longer ones into the plastic. But really the 12 bolts that go into the lip are what hold the thing on, because the lip is held on by bolts and nylon nuts. So that thing's like on there, and then the actual splitter is just bolted up to the lip. So it looks good though, man. I'm gonna put the wheels back on, drop the car down, and kind of show you what it looks like from the ground. Dude, it just turned out so good. Like, it's so clean. I love it, man. It's just like the most subtle touch, but it made such a big difference to the front end of this car. So APR actually did send rods as well in the package, but they're like silver. And I personally would never rock the rods unless I had this super far out and it was like really aggressive. This does create a ton of downforce when you're driving. So you also need to take that into consideration. Like, the thing that is really holding all this on is the lip onto the bumper and with bolts, and then the splitter onto that lip. That's really how this is all working. So you need to make sure that you have everything like really, really tight onto the car, or you could definitely lose some stuff. As far as this application, like how I have it set up now, it's perfect. Like, I really don't need to do anything else. I'm in love with it, man. Like, it doesn't, you have to see it in person. Camera does not do it justice. So obviously it reduced the clearance just a little bit, but I'm not worried about it, man. My thing is, if you're worried about scraping lips, then you shouldn't lower your car and you shouldn't put carbon fiber on your car. Just my opinion. If you're worried about scraping things and breaking things, then just don't put it on, because you're always gonna be stressing out about it. Me personally, like, I know that sometimes you scrape it, and that's just part of it. People also talk about like Ciplo. So Ciplo is that product that you put on the bottom of the lip, and it's like a plastic or like a rubber polyurethane. I don't know what it's made out of, but essentially you put it underneath the lip and it goes all the way across. Now, the reason that I don't run that, and the reason that I don't think that that makes much sense, because first of all, if the bottom of your lip gets scratched, then the bottom of your lip gets scratched. Whoever sees the bottom of your lip? Who cares if that gets scratched? That's not really something you should worry about. Also, lips don't crack from the bottom. Lips crack from straight on, like something hitting the lip straight on. That's how a lip cracks. My issue with Ciplo is all you're doing when you put that on the bottom of your car is reducing the amount of clearance from the lip to the ground. So if you add Ciplo and you're reducing that clearance from the lip to the ground, you're just gonna add more stress every time that you drive over and actually hit the Ciplo, if that makes sense. And in addition to reducing that clearance, you're also just gonna hear it scrape more, which is just like super annoying. Those are the two reasons that I don't really think Ciplo makes a whole lot of sense. Like, some people rock it, but I do get a lot of DMs from people like, why don't you have Ciplo on your car? It's like, because Ciplo doesn't it doesn't do anything. Like, Ciplo isn't going to save your lip from cracking. Typically, when you crack a lip, it's from something hitting your lip straight on. It's not from you driving on top of something. And if you're just reducing the clearance from the lip to the ground by adding that Ciplo under there, you're just gonna be stressing the carbon more every time that you hit the Ciplo. So in my opinion, Ciplo doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like, they did reach out to me and ask me to make a video, and I was like, I just don't really get, like, I don't really get why people run it. I also think that, like, again, if you're gonna be running carbon fiber, you just need to kind of accept the fact that you have a low car, you have carbon, and you can crack it. That's part of the game. Like, if you don't wanna stress about those kind of things, then this probably just isn't a game for you to play. Just don't run an aggressive lip, or don't lower your car. That's just my 2 cents on it. I am fully aware that people crack lips, my car's low, it's just life. But anyways, to get off topic, this is literally perfect. I'm definitely gonna go ahead and add some more ceramic coating, and a fresh new layer of ceramic coating to both of these. This has never been ceramic coated, but this was ceramic coated and it's been a while. You can tell it's kind of dulling out. The ceramic really brings the carbon back to life, the clearness of it. It just really deepens up the look of it. And you can kind of see the difference. This looks super fresh, and the lip just looks a little bit dull. So I'll throw some ceramic on there tonight just to clean it up a little bit. And I really like how APR uses like vinyl. It's like a carbon vinyl, like a rubber piece that goes across to just protect the front of the splitter. it's like a great addition to it. It's a very, very clean setup. So if you guys are interested in a splitter, just hit them up, dude. Hit them up on Instagram, APR Performance. I mean, they do such a good job with custom carbon stuff. They make wings, they make all sorts of crazy stuff. So I just hit them up on Instagram and I was like, yo, how do I go about doing something like this? They literally walked me through the entire process, just make a trace. So I made a trace of my lip currently on cardboard, just traced it out. And then I figured out how large I wanted my splitter to be, which I did an inch all the way around. So I can move it up and move it back. The way that I made the holes, I can actually slide it in and slide it out. So you could go more aggressive if you wanted to. Me personally, I didn't want it like super aggressive. I want it kind of like low key, just like clean. And I think it's perfect right now. I always felt that this lip was just a little bit strange because it kind of stopped with these contours. But now that we have the splitter, it really fills out the sides a little more. Like it looks really, really good. I honestly did not expect this to be that cool of an addition. After I put it on, like super stoked about it. I just think it turned out really good. Might run the rods in the future. If I do, I'd do black and I would go to the radiator supports. I'd only do that though if I ended up moving out the splitter. You can see down here, I have room to go up. I have like an inch back here and I made it an inch around the entire thing. The reason I did that is because if I wanted to move it out, I could. Anyways, I just want to thank APR Performance for helping me out and like getting me situated with this carbon fiber splitter. I think it looks so sick. Make sure you guys DM them on Instagram if you're interested in getting one for yourself or making some carbon fiber piece for your car. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please do subscribe, comment down below, like this video, hit that bell notification, and just like that, this video is over and we're out.